If you have an iPhone and you're still using the default browser, you're missing out on some really important features. So this is Opera. It's a free web browser that just got a huge update that makes it a must-try for pretty much anybody. First things first, it has a super minimal and customizable UI where you could do things like change the colors as well as customize the bottom navigation bar. And when you scroll around it on an article, it'll automatically hide the search bar and all the other UI, making for a really minimal and uninterrupted browsing experience. Then there's this new start page carousel that I love that shows you a bunch of relevant news and articles at a really quick glance. It has an ad blocker that also blocks harmful tracking scripts and a VPN to allow you to browse securely. Both of these come for free, built in with the browser. They've also introduced Aria AI, an AI assistant that's fully integrated in the browser. You can ask questions, have it help you with a search, or even use it to generate images. And lastly, their new search suggestion UI, which does a really great job predicting what you're going to type to make it as easy as possible to find what you're looking for. I've recently been loving Opera, and all the new features have been really putting it ahead, making it an absolute must-try for any iPhone user. If you don't already have it, it's totally free, and you can find a link to it directly in my profile, or hop over to the App Store and try it out for yourself. I'm going to take these 3D printed 7-segment displays, which can display numbers entirely mechanically, and try to build a functioning clock out of them for my office. So these displays are by far my favorite thing I've ever 3D printed, and they were actually designed by a fellow creator here on TikTok named Engineezy. Full credit to him for the designs. Make sure to check out his page because he makes incredible content. First step is turning these into a clock is going to be to print 3 more so we can display both the hours and the minutes. I'm also going to print this little base piece that holds them all together and puts this column in the middle to make it look nice. Now for the clock to change automatically, we're going to need to use a motor. So we're going to take this servo motor here with a 3D printed gear on it. That's going to interface with a gear inside the display module. And that'll just mount to the back of it with some 3D printed hardware. To control the motors, we're going to be using a programmable microcontroller called an ESP32. We're going to use the Wi-Fi built into this board to connect to the internet and figure out what the time is. This Wi-Fi part was really important, or else we'd need to manually set the clock every time we unplug it, and I wasn't having any of that. Here I'm testing it on one single display just to confirm it works, and everything seems to be checking out. This is really cool. Next step was to wire the rest of them up, but if I did this directly to the board, it would be an absolute rat's nest of wires, so instead I designed this PCB. The design for this was really simple, and it's going to let me solder all my components to it and make all of the cabling so much cleaner. I really like how this thing turned out. Now the final stretch, I connected everything up and wrote the code to connect it to Wi-Fi and then get the time. Then I hit upload. I had the displays reset to 0 while they were connecting to Wi-Fi, so this is what that is. And just like that, we are up and running. This thing turned out so well, and it is just kind of working. You'll see here I'm speeding up the video, it's keeping up the time in real time, and it just looks so cool, and it even sounds great. The sound of this thing flipping between the digits is just so soothing. Anyway, I could not be more happy with how this thing turned out. Not only does it look great, but it's functional, and it's also just a cool display of all the things I love. I don't know where it's going to live permanently, but for now I'm going to have it on display underneath my desk here so I can just look at it 24/7. There's a few other little things I have to do, like print an enclosure for the board and everything, but other than that, I think it's safe to call this project done. Let me know what you guys think of this thing. I'd love to hear your thoughts, any ideas to improve it, anything you like, anything you don't like, anything else you want to see done with this display, because I really enjoyed this project. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. We're here at Open Source where a whole bunch of nerds show off all the cool stuff that they built. Today we're here with...
I'm Thomas from Germany.
And Thomas, tell us a little bit about what you guys have here.
So we have a low-cost 3D scanning solution which is totally open source. So anybody can download our files, print it, and it's all basic parts, Raspberry Pi, standard motors. So anybody can do it at home.
So cool. And assuming you're able to put it together and solder it, how difficult is it to get up and running? Is there an out-of-the-box guide to where somebody not super tech literate could get up and go
Yes,
with this?
there's a very detailed instruction on GitHub.
Right.
You can just follow. There are build videos on YouTube.
And are you restricted to using the Pi camera, or could you use an old webcam per se?
This wouldn't work that well, but you can use your phone, you can use your DSLR camera.
Very cool. And then the companion app, that's included?
This is not an app, this is a browser-based interface. So you just connect the scanner to your network and then it'll work.
Awesome. And then is this scalable? Obviously the little the scan area here, do you have larger versions of the scanner?
Yes, there are larger versions available, going up to 8 inches, but you can scale it further if you like.
Super neat. And then what are the common use cases? What do you see people scanning with this
I think
thing?
mostly those miniatures, but some universities are researching the use for dental models too.
So cool. So you have like a Warhammer or D&D mini and you want to make 40 of them. You scan it and then print them out? That is so cool. And then what would you say the hardest engineering problem was kind of building this whole thing up?
Keep going, because at first it was a hardware challenge. I had no idea of what I was doing. I had no idea about soldering, nothing. But I learned everything in the process. I started in 2016 making this, and it evolved over the years.
And one of the most crazy things here, so he was just telling me how this model here, just to get an idea of how insane this scanner is, this is the scanned model printed out. Like you can see the detail on this thing. For a scanner that's just off the shelf like this, it's really cool how you built it to where I could see the
the gear fits directly on the servo pin, so there's, I'm assuming, minimal screws and parts needed to assemble it. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I'm probably going to build one of these right when I get home. If you guys want to check it out, it's my understanding that this is a full open source project.
Yes.
First off, we love that. Where can everybody find you guys if they want to build one of these for themselves?
So you can find everything on openscan.eu and our GitHub pages, and on YouTube as well, OpenScan.
So cool. Keep an eye out, guys, because I'm probably going to be building
you.
one of these in the next few months.